Hey guys, it's Julia. This week's video is going to be on Uji cafes. Now, if you're familiar with Uji in Kyoto, you'd know that Uji's most famous for their matcha, but I thought it'd be fun to switch it up and make this video about food spots and cafes in Uji that are specifically not matcha themed. So let's get right into it. The first location that I just want to mention off the cuff is Uji Station. Now, this is not in my official list of 5 non-matcha cafe spots, but I did want to mention it because if you are into architecture or just really into cool train stations and trains and stuff like that, I think it would be worth visiting. This is the Keihan Uji Station. I don't know, I just think it's so unique. So, okay. The first cafe on this list is going to be ABC Cafe. From Uji Station, you're going to walk across the Uji Bridge, and pretty much the first cafe that you're going to run into is ABC Cafe. Now, this cafe's interior is very cozy. I do think it just has that like cozy grandma chic vibe. The one thing that I do want to say about this cafe is they might not be the most English friendly. I did speak Japanese when I was there, but I also didn't see a lot of English speaking customers. The first thing I noticed was that they don't allow laptops, so if you're looking for somewhere to do work, this is definitely not the place to do it. In my personal opinion, Uji in general is not the best place to look for somewhere to study and stuff, but anyway, this cafe overlooks the crossing by the Uji Bridge. Which I think is great for some people watching if that's what you're into, just nice for like a little break. And yeah, I originally actually wanted to come here and have some lunch, but it turns out that they don't serve lunch on certain days. So yeah, the day that I went, they were only serving like their cafe menu. So what I got was a caramel nut tart and a hot coffee. Although I didn't get to have like the lunch that I wanted to have, the tart was actually really nice. I find that a lot of the times if I were to order a fruit tart or just like some kind of tart, the crust is usually really hard, and I like really hate that moment where you're trying to like cut the crust and then like your like fork hits the plate really hard and it makes a big noise. So I appreciated how the crust on the tart was like a lot softer than the other tarts that I've had. And it also went with the like inside of the tart too. And it wasn't too sweet either. I think it almost had sort of like a chocolatey, like smoked flavor to it. Maybe coming from the nuts, I don't know, but it was really good. And I had a table right in front of the window, so I was able to just kind of relax and watch what was going on outside. If you're with someone who wants a matcha dessert, they have a matcha tart as well. I don't believe they had matcha drinks, but the tart looked really good. So if you're with someone who wants that, they do have matcha options. Okay. The next place I'm going to mention is the Tale of Genji Museum. If you're researching places to go in Uji, there's a very good chance that this is going to come up on that list. The museum itself is really interesting. Although I haven't read the book, it was really cool to read the information that they had about the story. And they also had a really interactive incense smelling like section. I believe at least like during the time that the book was written, and maybe it was mentioned in the book as well, there's this like game that involves smelling incense. And although I'm not too sure exactly how the rules work, it was basically just like matching patterns to the like pattern of incense that you smelled and then guessing the correct pattern. But you like were able to try that in the museum, and then they had like a correct answer that you would get at the front desk, which is really fun. They also not only had really cool exhibitions in general about the book, they also had a animation that they played. It was about like 20 minutes long, and although I wasn't allowed to record it, it was really cool, and it was like in the style of the Kyoto Animation Studio. There are also a lot of like throughout the city of Uji, there are a lot of kind of Easter eggs of Kyoto Animation animes. So actually there was one by the entrance of the museum as well. So if you're into Kyoto Animation specifically, I think Uji would be a fun place to visit. Our third location is going to be the cafe within the museum. Just a disclaimer, you do not have to visit the museum to enter the cafe. So don't worry if you're not particularly interested in the museum, you can still go to the cafe. The cafe itself is not that big, but it's part of like the gift shop of the museum. I got the mini version of their garden parfait. Something to be aware of if you are really avoiding matcha, the flavor of the garden parfait changes per season and sometimes it can be matcha. So if you're not going during like early winter when I went, I would look out for their either Instagram or Google Maps just to check what the flavor is going to be when you go. But yeah, when I went, the flavor that was in season was black tea. And then it also came with a black tea latte, which was really interesting. I've never seen that before. I really wanted to try this because the shape of the parfait is just so pretty, and it also matched the plates that they were being served on, which was really cool. The inside of the parfait was also really cool. I personally am not a big fan of fruit, and I don't remember there being a lot of fruit in it, so I really liked it. It also had a lot of like the typical Japanese style like things that would be in a parfait, such as like shiratama, which is like a mochi type of thing, or like little cereal bits. So that was really yummy. Although I didn't get it, there were a lot of other really cool menu items, such as like their wagashi. I'm pretty sure they usually have 2 wagashi on their menu. One is like constant that they always have, and the other is seasonal. I was really tempted to get these, but I was just gonna be eating a lot of other sweets that day, so I held off on that this time. And then the overall cafe is just like a really good ambient cafe. There's like a garden outside as well, which was really cool. Yeah, I just think like even though it's kind of separate from the usual like touristy area of Uji, it's very much worth visiting if you're into trying different desserts. So I think that would be one of my personal top favorites for this list. Okay, on to number 4, we're gonna get into coffee. This is Outstanding Coffee Roasters. It's a coffee stand. Overall, when I was visiting, I just thought they had a really cool vibe about it. It's very like cool toned and chill. They do both drip coffee and espresso, and they have a large variety of beans to choose from. It is a little bit out of the way, but if you have no problem with walking, you can get there totally fine. Yeah, I was particularly interested in their geisha blend, I think, made with beans from the Honduras. And apparently they roast this specifically for espresso. If you ask them, I'm sure they could do drip coffee if you really wanted it, but yeah. I do hear that it was roasted specifically for espresso. I got the geisha beans in a cappuccino. I will provide a little review right now. Alright guys, we have to try this. It is 1,900 for this. It's the same price for a latte or a cappuccino, but I had to see what the geisha beans tasted like, so let's get my first impressions. Should I mix it around it for a second? I mean, it's coffee. This is like without any sugar or anything, and I feel like I don't need any sugar, which is nice. It kind of... First of all, it's easy to drink. Do I feel like it's strong? No, maybe that's because it's a cappuccino. But I'm glad that I got the cappuccino instead of the latte, because I feel like if I got the latte, then it would be not as strong. It's good though, it's not bad. I like it. I just don't know how I'm supposed to articulate my feelings about it. I also feel like because I didn't ask where the beans really like came from or anything, it's kind of my bad. There isn't really any context that I can appreciate this with, but it's a good coffee. Overall good. Would I say it's worth almost 2,000 yen? Probably not, but that's because I don't know where it came from. So yeah, they also have some desserts. I went pretty close to closing, so I couldn't get any of the other desserts, but I'm pretty sure they had an affogato and like maybe some cakes or like pastries. But yeah, I think if you have more time, those are definitely worth checking out. As for the interior, they have like soft cushion benches that if you want to like sit down, you can sit down. But you can also like walk 360 degrees around their barista station. If you're into vinyl records, I would totally check out the records that they have displayed. They also have like coffee table book-esque magazines that are sort of just like kind of scattered around the entire place. They had each one like bookmarked with like where they were mentioned in that like issue or whatever. And lastly, I just kind of really thought that the design of their takeout cups was really cool. I had their paper cup, and they had this sticker that was just like around the lid and the cup itself, which I thought was just, you know, a nice touch. Okay, last but not least, we have latte chai. Yeah, the only drink on their menu is chai. And then what you choose is what kind of cup that you want it served in. So like the cup itself, I think if there's like not too many people in line, they'll let you choose the cup itself. I chose this one. And then another choice that you can make is like the type of cup. So there's like a normal cup that they like, it's a ceramic cup that they fire. And when you're done, you just like return it to them. But they also have for like another 200 yen, you can choose a bisque fired ceramic cup, which means it's like partially fired. So once you're done drinking it, they have this like a bin or like a bowl where everyone else is like what do you call it? Cracking or like breaking the cups that they finished drinking out of. So if you choose the bisque fired cup, once you're done, you can throw it into the bowl and break it as a fun little experience. Aside from the chai, they also sell packs of spices so that you can make chai like at home on your own. And they also have some snacks and accessories to hold the cups on the go. Those they had like I'm pretty sure it was leather and like a knitted material, which I assume is handmade, so that's really cool. One thing about this place though, I didn't realize that it wasn't open on the day that I went, so I went a different day. So that this doesn't happen to you, I would probably check their Instagram or Google Maps. Because sometimes I think Google Maps is not the most accurate when it comes to when things are open. So I'll link their Instagram down below as well as the Google Maps, and I'll do the same for each and every place that I mentioned in this video. So yeah, those are 5 places that I'll recommend to you in Uji that are not matcha specialty based places. Let me know if you want me to make another version of this or if you want me to actually make a matcha recommendation list in Uji as well. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next week.